Hello again, and welcome to another presentation of Local Treasures here on PRTC TV Channel 9. This is Brian Murray, and I'm here today at Flat Lick Falls with the project coordinator, Miss Judy Schmidt. Judy, good to have you.
Thank you, Brian.
We are here on a beautiful fall day, about 60 degrees outside, and lots of things going on. And if you haven't been to Flat Lick Falls before, I have to admit that I had not, and I will be back. It's a beautiful place. Judy, talk to us about some of the history of Flat Lick Falls. How far can we take it back as far as how it got its start and how it all came about?
Well, of course, Flat Lick Falls has been here for no telling how long. I've seen pictures back in the 40s and 50s with groups coming out to visit the falls. It's always been in private ownership. The Hayes family has had it for a lot of years. The Leo Hayes and Jim Hayes, the game warden Jim Hayes' family, have owned this property for the last recent years. So a few years back, we got word that Leo was interested in maybe selling the property as long as it became a community park where everybody could enjoy it. So at that point, myself and the county judge and Marie Rader started looking for funds to see what we could do to purchase the property. We also heard that the Jim Hayes family was interested in selling their property too if it was going to be a park so that their families could come and visit it. So we've since then have purchased the land using a combination of grant monies and gifts and donations. Some of the bigger money came from Empowerment Zone, and PRTC gave a nice donation, and a lot of individuals gave a few dollars here and a few dollars there. So after we secured the land, we then wrote a grant to start to develop it. So the last grant that we had approved was for trails. So we were able to develop over 5 miles worth of trails. With that money, we put in a paved path from the parking area that we put in to the lookout platform now, where it will be handicapped accessible for anybody to come out to look and view the falls. We're also in the process of building restrooms, which we're standing by here today. We're waiting on approval from the state to approve a water line to be brought into the park. So when that gets approved and we get water here, we will have a dedication, hopefully next spring or next summer, and we can then open it up to the public, and we'll get signage out here at that point where everybody can come and view the park and see where we're at.
Now, how much land are we talking about that makes up the today version of Flat Lick Falls?
We actually purchased 3 tracts of land, the Leo Hayes property, the Jim Hayes property, and also the Wayne Hayes property. And all those 3 tracts of land, we have 83 acres. So there's quite a bit. It's quite hilly. So some of the trails are challenging, and then we've got some trails that are pretty easy too for those that just want an easier stroll in the woods.
Now, if you haven't been out here in a while, there's been a lot of things that have happened. She mentioned the paved trail. How many miles now of actually walking trail do we have?
We have 5 miles of walking trail. Paved, we have a little over a quarter mile paved trail. But there is over 5 miles of trail. Like I say, some of it's easy, some of it's challenging.
Now, she's completely a volunteer position here. And when did your love of Flat Lick Falls and your desire to get involved, where did that all begin?
Well, I actually grew up in Iowa and got a degree in landscape architecture from Iowa State University, but then I also fell in love with doing volunteer work through the church there in Iowa, and we worked with different churches in eastern Kentucky. So I ended up, after my college days, coming here as a volunteer, which I said was going to be for a year, but 2.5 years later I stayed in the community. So I found that I could use my landscape architecture degree in helping the community write grants, and my love as a landscape architect was park design. So I have worked with all the parks in the county to design, develop, and build the parks. I volunteer my time to write the grants after I do the design, and then help organize work sessions to build the parks. So the parks wouldn't be here without the hundreds of volunteers from Jackson and surrounding areas that have come and really worked hard to make all these parks possible in Jackson County.
Now, all this stuff's been done, like she mentioned, by state and also, I'm assuming, state and federal grant money.
That's correct.
And just so you guys know, everybody is so concerned about tax dollars and things. If she had not written these grants, that money would have been used somewhere else in another state. So this is the best of both worlds because we have this state and federal grant money. The tax dollars that you're spending are actually going to something beautiful. If you haven't seen this place, they've got so many plans. You mentioned the trails and the beautiful falls down here. What are some things people can be expecting over the next few years? Because there's going to be a variety of things you can do here at Flat Lake Falls.
That's correct. We just wrote a grant this year to put in a picnic shelter and a tot lot, and if we have enough money, even maybe a basketball court. And then down the road, we want to develop camping sites, and we might even try to develop those just with volunteers if anybody's interested in volunteering, because that's a lot of handwork to get some sites that are flat and level. And we want to do primitive camping, tent camping, and RV camping. So this would be the first site in the county that would have RV hookups, and that is our plan down the road once we can get the funding to do that as well.
I mean, you have to imagine we haven't had the opportunity to have things to attract a lot of tourism, and with as beautiful as this is, it's not too far down the road. This could be a real tourism hotspot as far as camping for people to come from all over.
Yeah, we believe that, and even through our work sessions, we'll be working here, and there'll be people coming from other states and other counties that have just heard about this by word of mouth from somebody here in the community, or one young person came and they said, yeah, my father took me here as a child, and he lived over in Madison County. He said, I didn't know if I could find it, but he was just so grateful that he could. So a lot of people have experienced this over the years due to basically word of mouth. So once this gets advertised, we do expect a lot of tourism in this area.
And one thing, in my defense, I had not been here, and Eric had to meet me, our camera operator Eric Wiggs had to meet me at one of the grocery stores up here. But it's kind of tucked back in here in the woods, back in the corner. Come off of 421 there at Greyhawk Landing, down Hayes Road. I think you can access it from the upper side of Hayes Road or the lower side of Hayes Road. Right. But of course, when we get this into process and we're getting closer to being done, we're going to get signs and direct people, and I know you're probably going to be contacting some other counties' tourism committees and getting this thing done. So, but we're going to take you down to the falls and let you see how beautiful it is down there and all the work that's been done. So let's head down there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. All right, so we're leaving the Flat Lake Falls Welcome Center here. Now, this project here, this building, and we'll get Eric to get some shots of it so people can see it. It's a great looking log cabin replica and just outstanding. Now, what's going to be the purpose of this building inside as we move forward?
Well, this building, as you said, this open area here is going to be the Welcome Center. We're going to have maps that shows where all the trails are at, just any information that you might need about the park and about the area. And then we do have restrooms. The restrooms will not only contain bathroom facilities, but they also contain showers. So that's all part of the master plan to have camping in this area. And so it'll be a full-fledged camping facility. So just beyond the parking lot here, as you come into the new entrance that's been put in, we'll have camping, tent camping, as well as RV camping down the road. So that'll happen over there. Then down in this space here, we talked about future grants that we're writing. We wrote a grant to build a picnic shelter and a tot lot. So we hope to clear up part of this area here that's in the flat and build a very nice large picnic shelter for family reunions and picnic activities, as well as a tot lot for the kids to come and play.
Something for all ages.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We just put in a new entrance into the falls, and everything to the left side of the entrance as you drive in is going to be designated camping facilities.
And they'll have the proper hookups and septic and water and whatever else they need there.
That's the plan. Maybe not septic, but water and electricity, and then down the road farther, a place where you can dispose of your septic if you have an RV.
Wow. And the intention, is there going to be any cost for people to come here and do this?
That really hasn't been discussed. This park will be governed by the local Jackson County Parks and Recreation Board.
Daryl Combs is involved in that.
Daryl Combs is the paid director, and then he's got a 6-member board from members all over the county, and they'll make those kinds of decisions on what it would take to upkeep those types of facilities and what the costs would be. And I'm sure that they will benchmark local surrounding counties and to see how they do it.
Yeah, but up until now, there's been no cost involved if you want to come see Flat Lake Falls.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay. So we're making our way down the trail here, heading down to the falls here at Flat Lake Falls with Project Coordinator Judy Schmidt here on Local Treasures on PRTC TV Channel 9. Now, as we can see, we have this sign here: no jumping or diving from falls may cause serious injury or death. And not only is the sign not adhered to, but it appears the sign gets some abuse over time. I've heard a lot of stories about people jumping off this fall.
Yes, we've seen a lot of people jump off the falls when we're working here. Even though the signs are up, they kind of don't heed the warning. And I do want to stress that it is a warning there for a reason. There has been deaths here at the falls. It is a 28-foot falls. It's beautiful, but it is hazardous. There's some big rocks around the falls that if you hit those, it will not be a pretty scene. So we do not encourage anybody to jump off the falls. It is very dangerous, but it is beautiful place to go swim under, and we have no problems with anybody doing that. We just want everybody to be safe, and we want to get you home to your families in one piece.
Well, let's walk on down now.
This bridge was put in as part of the Trails program. It was built over in Anvil. Sutton Bridge Furniture is the company that built this bridge using some of the materials they use for their furniture program and recycled lumber. Tried to use as many recycled items as possible, so some of the items on there were donated, and we incorporated that in the bridge design as well to make use of some of the donated materials we received.
We're down here at the main lookout platform of Flat Lake Falls. You can see the beautiful scene behind us. And Judy, we were talking a moment ago about the water source. I don't think a lot of Jackson Countyans know where the water comes from Flat Lake Falls.
Jackson County is at the head of the watershed, so if you're following 421, that's where water starts either flowing to the Kentucky River or the Ohio River. So where Tyner Lake or Beulah Lake is located, our water supply source, that's the very head of Flat Lake Creek here. And Flat Lake Creek starts there and then of course runs down here, and then in a short distance goes into the Laurel Fork, which runs into the Rockcastle River eventually.
Now, do you see a lot of variation as far as how much water is coming over the falls, depending on time of the year, drought conditions, different things?
I have never seen water not flowing over the falls, so even in drought conditions, there's some water. And in the wintertime, if you have a very long cold spell of cold weather, I have seen the whole falls be a column of ice, which is beautiful. That's only happened a few times in the last 35 years that I've lived in this county, but I have seen it, and it is gorgeous. So this is a place you can visit in all 4 seasons.
And that would be probably what we would deem to be 0 or sub-zero temperatures to freeze that like that.
Yeah, and it has to be for an extended period of time. That was back in about 77, 78, 79, those years when we had 3 or 4 months of very cold weather.
I always thought it would be neat to be able to actually see the freezing process happen, to be there when the water actually got so cold that it froze. Now, it says 28-foot drop from where the water comes over. You got some higher perches up here too above that, don't you?
That's correct. The falls itself, we have measured it from where it falls over to the bottom at 28 feet. And of course, if you're standing up above it from these rock perches, it's a lot higher than that.
Now, someone a lot smarter than I has probably figured this stuff out. But, this is a very interesting geological find in that you've got these shelves of rocks. And has anybody ever thought about or mentioned or talked about what would create this to happen geologically?
I've never talked to anybody that did, but just the whole falls itself to me is a geological wonder, because not only do you have the falls, everything from here on out is a very narrow canyon, and if you're hiking through some of these trails, you'll see some beautiful overhangs with some wonderful formations in. You'll see iron ore deposits, coming out of the sandstone. And in the wintertime, when you do have snow and ice, if the rest of the Jackson County is melted off, it may take a month later for some of these overhangs and stuff to get melted off because the sun never hits them.
Beautiful. So now people can do what they've always done at Flat Lick, as far as they can come if they wanted to have a picnic or walk the walking trails, come down and see the falls. There was a couple that came here while we first came here to set up, and I didn't realize you can kind of go under the falls and go down through there and all that stuff. So there's still a lot of things you can do here, and as of now, but there's going to be a whole lot more.
That's absolutely correct. Like I say, for years people have been coming here and hiking on private land, and now they have the opportunity to do it legally and safely, and it's still under construction, so we just ask people to be safe while they come out here during construction and be careful, but we are trying to make it as safe and as user-friendly as possible, and we want everybody to come out and enjoy the park.
We are here at the main falls, right above this big 28-foot drop, and Judy, it's amazing not only to think about the size of this one solid piece of rock, but also what water has done to it, from the separate paths of water it has created over time to the smaller holes, and then we have a bigger hole here that runs all the way through. Is this not an awesome view right here?
Oh, this is absolutely gorgeous, both looking upstream and downstream. Just fantastic view, just beautiful, pristine creek. As far as you can see, gorgeous.
Now, you were talking off camera a moment ago about this particular hole, which Eric Wiggs got a shot of. This is a hole that goes all the way through, where these are just more shallow indentions in the rock. This one goes all the way through, and you had an interesting story about that hole.
Yeah, Leo Hayes, the landowner that we bought this property from, tells the story about his uncle that during the drought he had this area fenced off, and this is where his cattle grazed. But when the stream upstream was too dry for the cattle to drink out of, he would put one foot in this hole and one foot over the edge of the cliff to secure himself,